Hi there, my name is Ben, another Shots Fired Airsoft video. I'm quite excited. This is something I've been waiting for a few weeks now. FedEx delivered it. Numerous false tracking information saying it was going to be here for several days, which it didn't turn up. Got a bit worried. However, it has finally turned up today. And this is the most expensive thing that's ever been on this channel. With the possible exception at the high end of the VFC, but I bought that second hand. This was an outright first hand purchase. Oh, it's a Challenger MK3 made by a company called QWK over in China, and this is a full AEG Nerf blaster. So we're talking electric, blowback, bolt hold open, fully automatic, burst firing, semi-auto, but firing ground weight Nerf darts, which is awesome. So box, not especially anything special. Do got a nice bit of printing on it, so it's not just a blank cardboard box. Yeah, I'm just going to get into this because I am very curious to see what is within. Oh, okay. I'm probably going to just stand up. Actually, I'm probably going to knock everything over if I don't. And there we are. So I got it with 2 extra magazines, and these are the magazines. And they have a magnet in the follower there, which engages with a magnet to provide the hold open feature. The gun itself is absolutely beautiful, and yeah, oh right, okay, we get some EPP dragon darts. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what comes out of the box, and then I'm going to get the box out of the way because it is huge. There are some rails which you apply yourself. I paid a little bit extra, and there's a Delrin dart gate in there, which is supposed to be a bit sturdier than the polycarbonate one that's within. Sorry, another rail there. So there are 3 rails. I believe there's one for the bottom and one for the sides. Got 2 more mags in there. So I've got 4 in total, which enables me to run this at CQB without having to reload too often. And there is a LiPo, which is supplied in a little glass tube, and this is a 3S LiPo 1100 mAh 40C. And then we have a weapon itself, and there is a little instruction manual in there. So with that done, let's get this little box out of the way, or big box as it may be. Okay, so instructions. This is a very Chinese blaster. It is imported. They're not really meant for UK use, so there is not much in the way of English in here. However, it does show you general features and functions of the blaster, including how to load the darts, so you don't try and load them flat, let them sit at an up angle, how the stock works, how to remove the top cover, how the firing selector works, which is fairly obvious, obviously a pictorial diagram on it on there. And we've got how the bolt functions, the slide lock, and the magazine release. So that's it. In very complex 500 pound Nerf blaster. Entirely Chinese instructions, which I was expecting. It's not a surprise to me. Let's get into the important thing, the actual gun itself. The first thing I think is it is very light. This weighs very little. I've been told it's about 1.3 to 1.6 kilos, depending on how it's loaded, which is very impressive. If we come to the offside, you can see our beautiful bolt there, which at the moment is, obviously this is what you call an AEG, but this is a Springer, a Nerf Springer. It's just electronically driven. So essentially what this is if you try to rack this back now, it is essentially like trying to pull the bolt on an airsoft sniper rifle. So you're essentially cocking back a spring when you pull it. The whole point of this is it's there solely for reciprocation during firing, and also on final shot it will lock back. It cocks the blaster, so essentially the spring is cocked in the catch, and then you slam another mag in it, drop the mag out, slam another mag in it, hit your slide release, that will click forward, and you can just fire immediately, which is fantastic. We have little quick release pull toggles. There is a lovely stock which has numerous positions, and I believe you just use the tab underneath to maneuver it. There we are. find a position. So that comes out like that. It is very sturdy, got these big aluminium arms. That is very comfortable to shoulder. That is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, one of the advantages of these is when I use my Nerf guns and CQB, I've always got, they're always huge because they always have to have a massive plunger tube. They're pump action, so you have to be able to reach right to the front of the gun. This is a lot more, well, CQB friendly, which is what I'm after. Mag insertion. I believe we are going like so. Yes. So that's what it looks like with mag in. Mag is in there, very little wobble at all, and they release beautifully. It's not quite a gravity drop, I don't think. It might be with a few darts in it, but it is a very easy and slick release. Just pop those to the side for a minute. Put the stock back in. It's all a bit stiff at the moment. They do say you need to run this for about 300 rounds before it's fully bedded in. Obviously with the gears and all that sort of stuff going on. I'm just going to pop the top cover off. It has these pins which you just pull out, and that should essentially enable the entire top of the gun to come off, which indeed it does. And there you can see we have a complete CNC billet aluminium gearbox. This is not cast, this is machined, hence it has machine marks on it. Absolutely beautiful. This has a full metal cylinder in it, a full metal pusher, because this is the Pro Max version, which is an upgraded version. And then under the front there is a full brass bearing scar. Look at that, isn't that absolutely just beautiful? And all that does is, as the darts come through, these bearings obviously are aligned at angles, and then as the dart goes through there's a little bit of friction, enough to spin the dart but not enough to slow it down too much. And I believe that attaches via this collar, which indeed it does, almost like a hose clamp. That is a beautiful heavyweight bit of kit. Absolutely gorgeous. That is the most beautiful bearing scar I've ever seen in my life. So ignoring that, this is the front shroud. It is possible to fit a longer barrel so that this barrel will protrude further than the blaster shroud, which will mean that you can fit things like, if you don't want to use this one, then you can use a like a tracer pathfinder unit or something similar to that, which I'll have on the channel soon. And if I just give you a general look, that's where your LiPo goes. So your battery sits up the top there. You can get away with a slightly longer one that will sit actually inside, push into the shroud. You don't want to come back too far though, because obviously you've got this reciprocating bolt, which you really don't want to get involved with your wiring or battery. Yeah, first impressions, blown away. It feels fantastic. That is such a nice blaster to use, just to shoulder. They apparently do have their issues. Out of the box, if you get one that works okay, then you're pretty much golden. I can already see with mine, I've got a wire, actually, I don't know if you can see that on camera, I'll have to check. I've got a wire that's progressing into the bolt assembly there, so I'll make sure that that's tucked right back before I do any shooting. I think you can avoid a lot of problems with this just by kind of opening your eyes and making sure that everything's okay before you start firing, because this is a very powerful weapon. We're doing about 180 FPS with a gram, which, when you think about it, that's an awful lot of force to be putting through an electrically motivated gearbox, essentially. So I'm not going to rush this. This was just like a first look. There's no firing. I'm not going to slam the LiPo in and just start trying to fire anything. I'm going to go for the gun, make sure everything's okay, because there is support for this. This has come from Black Raisins, and they are there to help, but obviously they're a long way away. And I really don't want to break something, rushing into things, getting things fired up and running just because I've got a camera running, and then enter into like a 2-3 week dialogue and parts, all this sort of stuff. So I want to make sure I've got everything good, which I'll do off camera. And then what we'll do with this, you'll see it in a couple of weeks probably for a firing video, assuming that everything goes okay. and I'll do a full review then, but this was just to get into it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Ben, very excited about this. I hope you're quite interested to see it as well. Yeah, thank you very much and goodbye.